fresh, pure, and energizing milk and bourbon on the rocks. Milk and bourbon on the rocks.
So that was bad. Took me a while to recover, a couple meals, maybe a little nap. I found out later on that the one person I thought that had beat me was about 25 seconds slower, actually. They got a 101.51, I got a 101.24. So I did it. I'm at the leaderboard right now of my own self-designed challenge. Burned around 900 calories, active calories doing it. The hardest part was probably the burpees. 150 burpees, no matter which way you cut it. If they had been done by themselves, they would have been terrible. And it was a tough workout. It was a tough workout. What I think I'm going to do, because I spoke to a few people about what I could do to encourage involvement even further, and I think I'm going to split up guys and girls. And the lead girl and the lead guy are each going to get that prize that I mentioned, a bottle of bourbon and a book, and there's still going to be that random winner of just the book. Girls, you're going to be given an allowance of 70 pounds of assistance for your pull-ups so that it kind of evens the playing field. So kind of following in the Army footsteps on this, and I'm not going to talk about that because it upsets a lot of people. What the Army's doing with the ACFT standards, if you're not familiar with it, pretty easy to look it up on Google. They're changing standards. Whether it's for better or worse, not my place to determine. I don't get paid enough for that. I didn't mention really too much about my third podcast that surrounds the books, my actual Milk N Bourbon. And I think I'm going to release it April 12th. I'm going to have some guests on this one. Adam and Vince are two of my closest friends. They have very different views. I have very different views from both of them, but we still respect each other, and I think there's a lesson somewhere hidden in that statement. But yeah, it's Deep Survival by Lawrence Gonzalez. That's correct. It's a good book so far. I can tell you just briefly, he basically tries to delineate between people that survive and people that fail to survive in survival situations out in the wild. And it boils down to, it seems, it's a mental game. And if you mentally are prepared to survive, most likely you will survive. Great book so far. Lots of vignettes, some pretty sad stories, some pretty great stories, some pretty amazing, far-fetched stories. Written by what seems to be a very tough guy. So, good book so far. I am going to start releasing a little bit more of these shortened versions. I'm going to call them shooters. So this is shot one of shooters. And hopefully you enjoy this workout that I'm about to do or about to show you.
Really? Mamma mia. Mamma mia. I'm way behind you. Good. I'm at 150. seen a fully ripe zucchini? So I did hit my mark. Missed it by 24 seconds, well really 25. So far we've had a couple people enter, and the fastest one was an hour and 1 minute. I was an hour and 1 minute and 24 seconds. So didn't get there this time. Brutal day. It's hot. It's just a brutal day. Windy on the backside of the run. I'm making excuses, but man, that was tough.
So hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm going to try to do a couple of these every now and then. No real schedule for these, like with Milk and Bourbon, but I thought this would be interesting to try to drive some even more involvement from you guys, the listeners. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me in pain. Have a good night.
Fresh, pure, and energizing milk and bourbon on the rock.